So as you know, with the Pink Melastoma flower, we are looking at these dualistic extremes of perfect and not perfect. So again, that is the theme, and I'm going to keep coming back to that and trying to say it in different ways, because there are several layers and levels of nuance to this complexity of this elixir. Is amazing. I absolutely love it. Okay, so what I want to talk about this week is that we have this deep-seated pattern that is unconscious that we're not totally aware of until we start working with Pink Melastoma and it starts to show us another alternative of behavior. I'm going to give you a couple examples. It's like a very deep patterning that there's inherently something wrong with us, that there is inherently something not enough about us, that there is inherently something not perfect about us. That is, it's off, it's wrong, it needs to be remedied, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be solved, it needs to be padded, it needs to be smoothed, right? That we might be too much. I remember talking about this on one of the podcasts that just came out last week with Antoinette Beauchamp, and we talked about intuitive scheduling, but she also talked about having this like fear of being too much, right? Of being too joyful, of being too loud, of being too crazy. And that falls into line with this, am I perfect? And oftentimes we don't even know what is this structure or framework that we're holding on the inside of what perfection is. And it's almost like we imprison ourselves in this framework of perfection that we don't even really understand until we work with Pink Melastoma and we can kind of see the light peek in, and then we realize that we're in this cage, and then we toss it off. Here's another example. On Instagram, I saw a meme quote, and I don't remember all of it, but the part that stuck with me was it was in language and how you express yourself. And instead of saying like, sorry, I'm late, that we could instead rephrase it and say, thank you so much for waiting. Right? Because oftentimes, especially in those situations where like something really important happened, we needed to like save the dog from running out into the street, or we needed to pick up the child and they were late from school, or we needed to poop, right? And if we didn't poop, it was like going to be bad, right? So like there are extenuating circumstances in life. Life is crazy. Life is chaotic. Life is imperfect. And you know what? We don't really mind if somebody's a couple minutes late to a meeting, please, right? So like, let's drop this habit of like, sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Like no more sorries, right? It's like standing with conviction behind what we value. And if something comes up, and I'm not saying be irresponsible, but if something comes up, then it's much more this like, thank you so much for waiting. I know you've been waiting here for me and this thing came up and I just had to deal with it. And not living in this prison of feeling inherently like there is something erroneous about us. There's something wrong. We did bad. We're not enough. And we're not perfect. I hope this is making sense. So this week, you just get another little deeper dive look at what are those situations when you notice that you might be bending over backwards, or that you may have previously worried about a particular situation or how someone would respond. And you're reframing, you're rewiring, repatterning so that you, as you are showing up with dirty, unkempt hair or snoring dog or loud children outside or whatever the situation is, it's okay. I remember earlier this week I had a meeting with somebody really important on Zoom, and it was like the circumstances of the day, just like couldn't get to the office on time, and I ended up just like running out to my car and doing this Zoom meeting in the car, unshowered, looking a little crazy and wild. And I thought, you know what, this is me. This is the authentic me. And this is also kind of where open heart ties into. We paired Pink Melastoma with the open heart mist, because it's just also so good for being vulnerable, authentic, being yourself, being curious and open-hearted to everything that comes your way. Ichi is taking a nap next to me. Looking at How are you more able and apt to just come to the table as you are, imperfect, wrong hair, wrong shirt, unironed, wrinkled, right? Just as you are. And that's not only enough, it's more than enough. It's powerful. It's you, right? I was coming back from my trip from Sedona yesterday, and we were talking about this Irish family on Instagram. It's a mother, a father, a son, and 2 daughters. And they have over 500,000 followers, and they just do all these totally silly things and dance around in their kitchen and skits and wear wigs and just like, they're so cute. We can link to them in the email because they're just so funny. But, you look at a family like this and they're just absolutely being themselves. And they have over 500,000 followers. It's like, that's what the world needs. The world needs you in all your imperfections, in your messy hair, in your unshowered self, showing up, being totally you. So the question for this week is, when do you notice yourself breaking free from the prison that you've created for yourself, that we have all created for ourselves subconsciously? When do you notice these glimpses of light and notice yourself breaking free and experiencing more empowerment and authenticity in who you are, and not feeling sorry for the choices that you make, and in feeling that you have this sense of strength and purpose and contentment, that there are reasons for why you do the things that you do and how you are the way you are, and that how you are is enough, and not just enough, but vast and huge and powerful and impactful. Perfectly, imperfectly, perfect.